everyone, myself Naman Ahmed, and I am back with another video, and I welcome all of you once again to my channel. So this is the second part of the Delhi Sultanate, chapter number 8. As you all know that we will complete this chapter in the two parts. And the first part, okay, if you have not watched the first part, that has been uploaded, so I will give the link in the I button. You can click there and you can go and watch the first part first, so that the second part will be easier for you to understand. So now let's get started without wasting any more time. So here we completed till page number 75 the Alauddin Khilji, who was Alauddin Khilji, and his market regulations, okay, and also about the Khilji dynasty we did. Now in this video we are going to start from the Deccan expedition, okay. So before starting the Deccan expedition, you will have to know the meaning of expedition. What is the meaning of expedition? So expedition means expedition means a group of people who will go to a particular place for a war, okay. So here a group of people means the huge army of Alauddin Khilji. Okay, huge army of Alauddin Khilji, they went to Deccan. They went to Deccan for the war to conquer the kingdoms of the Devagiri, the Varangal, Dwarasamudra, Madurai. Okay, now let's get started about the Deccan expedition. The first point here that Alauddin Khilji sent an expedition. Sent an expedition means he sent his huge army to Deccan under Malik Kafur. This is important, that under whose surveillance he means Alauddin Khilji sent his expedition or sent his army to Deccan. So the answer is the Malik Kafur. Second point, kingdom of Devagiri, kingdom of Varangal, Dwarasamudra and Madurai was conquered but not annexed. That means, see, kingdom of Devagiri, the Varangal, this is also important, the name can be asked. The kingdom of Devagiri, Varangal, Dwarasamudra and Madurai was conquered but not annexed. See, conquered means it was attacked by his army, so army men. Whose army men? Alauddin Khilji's army men. But he did not annex. Annex means he means Alauddin Khilji allowed the king of the Devagiri, Varangal, Dwarasamudra, etc. to rule these kingdoms, but under him. Okay, the ruler of these kingdoms were under him. They worked under him. So he did not annex. Now there were some reasons he did not annex. The first reason, okay, there are two main reasons that are also in the book and I have written here also. So there were some reasons because he did not annex. Okay. See, the first, he realized that it would be practically difficult to control these distant lands from Delhi. That means, see, these lands or these places were very far from Delhi, and Alauddin Khilji thought that if he ruled these lands from Delhi, it would be very much difficult for him to rule, okay, as they were very far. The second point, this is the main point. See, he was interested in acquiring the wealth of those kingdoms for maintenance of his huge army. Okay, he told the king of the kingdoms, these Devagiri, Varangal, Dwarasamudra and Madurai, to rule their kingdoms as usual, but under whom? Under Alauddin Khilji, and to pay him an annual tribute. These kings or the rulers of the Deccan paid him annual tribute. Okay, so this was the Deccan expedition. Now we come to the measures against nobility. So here the first point, the nobles. Noble means the you can say the VIP persons in the kingdom of Alauddin Khilji. They were known as noble. Because measures against nobility, that means the noble thought that they were the only power. They thought that they are more than the king. So he took some measures against them to crush their power. Okay, so the first point here, that what was the measures that he took against nobility. The first point, the nobles were not allowed to hold parties or marriage alliances or marriage ceremonies without the permission of the Sultan. Okay, the nobles now were not allowed. They had to ask the permission of the Sultan to allow to hold any parties or marriage alliances or marriage ceremony. Okay, second point, the use of wines were banned. Okay, use of wines were banned. The third point, gambling was forbidden and gamblers were severely punished. Okay. After that, the fourth point, he started paying soldiers in cash. Alauddin Khilji started paying the soldiers in cash. Number fifth, he also established a spy system also, Alauddin Khilji. So first measure, the nobles were not allowed to hold any parties or marriage ceremonies without the permission of the Sultan. The second, use of wine were banned, gambling was also banned, and the gamblers were severely punished. Started paying the soldier in cash and established a spy system also. See, so this was the Deccan expedition and the measures against the nobility. Hope you understood. Now we will come to the next point. Okay. Okay, now we are going to start the thing. We are going to start the military and the revenue reforms, which is the last thing of the Khilji dynasty. After that, the Khilji dynasty will come to an end, and after that, which dynasty will start? The Tughlaq dynasty. So we shall start with the military reforms. See, military reforms means the changes made by Alauddin Khilji in the military department, and revenue reform means the changes that were made by Alauddin Khilji in the revenue department. So in the military reforms, the first point is that Alauddin Khilji imported quality horses and started system of branding the horses, which is also known as dag. After that, see what happened. He imported, that means he brought quality horses and started a system of branding them. Okay, he used to give them a particular horse a particular brand name. So he started a system of branding the horses, which is also known as dag. Second point here, so that why he did this system of branding, because so that the soldiers could not replace them with the inferior quality of horses. That means he brought very nice or very good quality of horses and started the system of branding. Why? So that his soldiers cannot replace the horses. Okay, cannot replace the horses of the inferior quality with the good quality of horses. Okay, so that's why he started the branding system. This can be asked that why Alauddin Khilji started the system of branding the horses. He started the system of branding the horses so that his soldiers could not replace them with the inferior quality of horses. Got it? Now, the third point, he also introduced the system of chehra. Okay, he also introduced the system of chehra, that is giving a kind of identity card to everyone. Okay, everyone used to have an identity card. Okay, identity card, that was known as the chehra, system of chehra. And the last point, he paid the soldiers in cash. He started paying the soldier, or he introduced the method of paying the soldiers in the cash. Who introduced the, if it's asked in the exams that who started the method of paying the soldiers in cash, so the answer will be Alauddin Khilji. Now, the revenue reforms. The revenue reforms, that means the process of taking the tax or giving land revenue. Okay, so about money, what changes in the department of revenue he made. Here the first point is he brought all the land of the empire under his direct control. Brought all the land of his empire, okay, in his direct control. That means he will control all the lands. The second point, he introduced the practice of measuring the land. Okay, he started the practicing of the measuring the land and fixed the price accordingly. Okay, according the measure of the land, he will fix the price. After that, the third point, he increased the revenue of the land from 1/3. Increased the revenue of the land from 1/3 to 1/2. Okay. After that, see, number 4, demanded the revenue to be paid in cash. Okay. After he increased the revenue of the land from 1/3 to 1/2, he demanded the revenue to be paid in cash. Okay. After that, after dying, who died? After the death of Alauddin Khilji, Malik Kafur, who was his commander under his surveillance, the Deccan expedition. You know, okay, I hope that you remember that Deccan expedition under the surveillance of Malik Kafur. So after death of Alauddin Khilji, Malik Kafur dominated him. That means he came after him, he ascended him, and the Khilji dynasty came to an end when the governor of Dilapur came to the throne. Okay. So see, at last what happened? The last governor or the last ruler of the Khilji dynasty was the governor of Dilapur when he came to the throne, and after him the Khilji dynasty was finished or was declined. Okay. So this was the military reforms and the revenue reforms, and after the after the decline of the Khilji dynasty, the new dynasty started, which was known as the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay. Now we will do the Tughlaq dynasty as the Khilji dynasty is finished. Okay. So here we did the military and the revenue reforms. So hope you understood. Now we are going to start the Tughlaq dynasty. Finished. After the governor who let's revise once that who the military reforms and the revenue reforms, that he imported quality horses and started the system of branding the horses. He also so that why he did so, because so that his soldiers could not replace them with the inferior quality, and also introduced the system of chehra. That means giving a kind of identity card to everyone, and he paid soldiers in the cash. In the revenue reforms, brought all the land of the empire under his direct control, introduced the practice of measuring the land and fixed the price accordingly, and increased the revenue of the land from 1/3 to 1/2, demanded the revenue to be paid in cash, and after dying, Malik Kafur dominated him, and the Khilji dynasty came to an end when the governor of Dilapur came to the throne. So this was the military and the revenue reforms, and after that the Khilji dynasty was declined. Okay. Now we will do the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay. Okay, now we are going to start the Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, after the previously Khilji dynasty finished. Okay, with the last ruler, who was the last ruler who came to the Khilji dynasty was the governor of Dilapur, and after that the Khilji dynasty declined or finished. Now after that the new era of the dynasties arise. Okay, and one of them was the Tughlaq dynasty, which was after Khilji dynasty it emerged. Okay, now about Tughlaq dynasty, the first point that we are going to learn or start here is in 1320 Ghazi Malik took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and began the Tughlaq dynasty. Got it? So in 1320, it's important. It is the important point because the date has been given here, and with this point we can arise two kind of questions. See, first let's know the meaning. What is the meaning of this line? In 1320, Ghazi Malik took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Original name was of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was Ghazi Malik, and he took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and he started the Tughlaq dynasty or began the Tughlaq dynasty. The first question from here is mention the date. Okay, mention the date or the year in which Ghazi Malik took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. The first question, and the answer is in 1320. The second question, who began the Tughlaq dynasty? The Tughlaq dynasty was began by Ghazi Malik, who took the title Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq in 1320. Proper answer by this one point with the two questions. Okay. Second point is also important, as the date has been given, can be asked in the examination. See, who died? Sorry, he died during a collapse of a pavilion built in 1325 in his honor or respect, you can say. So a pavilion was built in the honor of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq or Ghazi Malik, and the collapsation of that pavilion caused the death of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq or Ghazi Malik in the year 1925. Just know the date of 1925. Sorry, I am telling 1925. It's 1325 and 1320. Okay. Now the second point or the second heading is the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now see, just the relation. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was not the original name of Ghazi Malik. Okay, it was the title of Ghazi Malik. Ghazi Malik took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Similarly, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was not the original name of Jona Khan. Okay, he also took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Jona Khan was the son of Ghazi Malik first, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the son of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Simple. Okay, hope so it's clear. Now about his son, the first point. His son Jona Khan took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. His son means Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, you can say Ghazi Malik, both are right. So his son Jona Khan took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. Second point, he was a great scholar. Who? Jona Khan or Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a very great scholar. He had a great interest in religion and philosophy. Now after that, he mastered himself in maths, in astronomy, in logic and physical sciences. And the last point, he was a great lover of Persian literature, music, etc. The 2 points are written here. You can see. Now all the things are the base point, okay, of the introduction part of the Tughlaq dynasty, from where the Tughlaq dynasty started from the book. It's all the main point, important point has been written here. If you will, you can copy this. If you will, you can take a screenshot. Now, now the heading transfer of capital. Okay. So in the era of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he transferred his capital. Muhammad bin Tughlaq transferred his capital to Devagiri near modern Aurangabad and renamed it as Daulatabad. Okay. Now he transferred his capital from Devagiri, to Devagiri near modern Aurangabad and named it as Daulatabad. Now a question will arise, why he did so? Okay, why he shifted his capital. So the reasons that why he shifted has been given here. Now the first point here, the Daulatabad or Devagiri was centrally located, okay, centrally located from where all the Deccan territories could be ruled. It was centrally located from where all the Deccan territories could be ruled. That means this is Daulatabad in the center, and after it is in the center, and because it was in the center, all the Deccan territories could be ruled. Okay. Now the second point, Delhi was gripped in a severe famine. At that time, Delhi was gripped in a severe famine. Okay. After that, the third point here is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Delhi was constantly threatened by Mongol invasions. So the 3 points here, that it was in the center. Daulatabad was in the center. It was centrally located, or it was in the center from where all the Deccan territories could be ruled. Second point, Delhi was gripped in a severe famine. And third point, Delhi was constantly threatened by Mongol invasions. So see, the third point is that Delhi was constantly threatened by Mongol invasions. And now let's quickly revise, and after that we will go further. The first point here about the Tughlaq dynasty is in 1320, Ghazi Malik took the title of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, died during the collapse of a pavilion in 1325. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the son of Ghazi Malik, took the title. Original name of Muhammad bin Tughlaq was Jona Khan. He also took the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Great scholar, had a great interest in religion and philosophy, mastered in math, astronomy, logic and physical sciences, and was a great lover of Persian literature, music, etc. The heading transfer of capital, you know very he shifted his capital to Devagiri near modern Aurangabad, renamed it as Daulatabad. Why he did so? It was in the center from where all the Deccan territories could be ruled. Delhi was gripped in a severe famine, and Delhi was constantly threatened by Mongol invasion. So this was the Tughlaq dynasty starting part. Now we are going to start the token currency. Okay. So before starting token currency, the transfer of capital that we did, the last point that I forgot to tell you was that, see, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ordered his people, okay, he ordered his people to transfer, as he transferred his capital to Devagiri and renamed it as Daulatabad, okay, he told. So when he ordered his people to move there, okay, he realized the threatening of his enemies from the northwest. So he ordered his people again, and he also after realizing this, he thought to keep Delhi as his capital only. Okay, he shifted back his capital to Delhi, and this caused a lot of hardships. Okay, you can also understand that if once he ordered his just suppose 1 lakh people to move from Delhi to Daulatabad, and in the middle of the way he then again ordered to shift his capital back to Delhi and ordered the people to go back to Delhi. It will cause many kind of problems, you know. So this caused a lot of hardships. Okay, now we come to the token currency. Okay, so here the token currency and the taxation in Doab, there are 2 points here. So the first is token currency and second is taxation in Doab. Okay, so the first token currency, the first point. Another controversial step taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the introduction of token currency. Short form of intro, you know. So another controversial step taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the introduction of token currency. Now, what was token currency? It meant the introduction of bronze taka in place of silver. Okay. So in introduction of bronze taka in place of silver, and why it did so? Because of the shortage of silver. Okay. So the first 3 points. Another can be asked, name the controversial step or another controversial step taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the introduction of token currency. Okay. Now what was token currency? It was the introduction of bronze taka in place of silver. Why? Because of the shortage of silver. Okay. Now here what he did, his experiment failed. Why his experiment failed? Due to the circulation of fake coins on a large scale. People started making a large amount of fake coins, bronze coins, and they started distributing it. Okay, so because of this, his experiment that was named as token currency was failed. Now the second point that we come here is the taxation in Doab. Taxation in Doab. All the points are written here. First point. Muhammad bin Tughlaq not only wanted to conquer many parts of India but also wanted to conquer Central Asia, right? He only don't wanted to conquer many parts of India, but he also wanted to conquer the parts of Central Asia. So see, if he wanted to conquer many territories of India as well as many territories of Asia, it is not possible with just 100 or 200 or 300 men or soldiers of his army. It's the simple logic. So if he wanted to achieve this kind of thing, he required a very huge and large army, right? A very huge and large army was needed. Okay, and if a very huge and a large army was needed, the maintenance, the fees or the salary has to be given to the soldiers, right? So therefore a large amount of money was also needed to be paid. Okay, so in order of this, what he did to gain more revenue or to gain more money by the taxes, he increased the revenue in the fertile Ganga and Yamuna Doab region. Okay, so this was taxation of Doab. Now further is also there. Now we will go to the further, but before going that, let's revise once. Okay, what was this? So the token currency, this was another controversial step that was taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, and it meant the introduction of bronze taka in place of silver because of shortage of silver. Now his experiment failed. Why? Due to the circulation of fake coins on a large scale. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq, now the taxation in Doab, he not only wanted to conquer many territories of India but also wanted to conquer the parts of Central Asia. So because to achieve this kind of things, he required a very huge and large army, and if he get a very huge and large army, he need to maintain his huge and large army by giving them the salary. So therefore large amount of money was also needed to be paid, and after that, because of this, so he increased the revenue in the fertile Ganga and Yamuna Doab region. Okay, now see, in the taxation in Doab that we are doing, in the same time a severe famine broke out in the same region. Okay, so if at the same time a severe famine broke out in the same region, so people refused to pay the taxes. Okay, but the tax collectors showed no mercy. Okay, they showed no mercy and they collected the taxes. Okay, but the people were not in the condition after they were facing the severe famine, they were not in the condition to pay the taxes, but the tax collectors did not realize that, and they did not show any kind of mercy on them, and they collected the taxes. Now after that, Muhammad bin Tughlaq took effective steps to fight this situation. Okay, he took effective steps to fight that kind of situation. See, the steps that was taken by him was: number one, he ordered free distribution of grains. He ordered the free distribution of grains. Second point, he gave advanced loans to the peasants or the farmers. But these two things, he took the steps to fight the situation, but it was too late when he took these steps or those steps. It was already too late. Now, many people were starved to death as agriculture suffered a heavy setback. So, in the severe famine, it was too late when he took these steps. It was already too late, and many people were starved to death as agriculture was not there. It suffered a very heavy stayback. Now, the plan of conquest. Okay, Jona Khan, or you can say Muhammad bin Tughlaq, dreamt of conquering the world. Okay, he dreamt of conquering the world. So in order to conquer the world, he organized a huge army and paid 1 year's full salary to the soldiers. Okay, and also decided to conquer Khurasan, Persia, which is known as Iran, and Iraq. See, but this plan he also abandoned. But after a year and following the failure of the token currency plan failed, he took back the project and disbanded the army. But after a year and the following failure of the token currency, he took back the project. Okay, here he took back the project and disbanded the army. So let's revise. In the same time, what happened? Severe famine broke out. People refused to pay the taxes. The tax collectors showed no mercy. Muhammad bin Tughlaq took effective steps, but it was already too late when many people died. And plan of conquest, he dreamt of conquering the world, organized a huge army, paid 1 year full salary, but and also decided to conquer Khurasan, Persia, Persia, which is known as Iran and Iraq. And at last, after a year and following the failure of the token currency, he took back the project and disbanded the army. So this was the plan of conquest. Now the last part, the Sultanate administration. With this, the plan of conquest finished. Now we are going to start the Sultanate administration, which is the last part and the final part of this big and long chapter. So now let's get started with the Sultanate administration. The first point here coming up is the the Sultan kept an eye on the revenue and expenditure. Hope you can see. The Sultan kept an eye on revenue and expenditure. Okay, Sultan, the king, or you can say anything, or head, who kept an eye on the revenue and the expenditure. Now the second point coming up is and he was assisted by a number of ministers. Okay, he was assisted by a number of ministers. Now the third point, the key figure in the administration. Okay, the most important part or the most important person in the administration was the wazir, who was also called prime minister, who acted like prime minister. Okay, wazir, at that time they did not know prime minister, so they called it wazir, right? Now fourth point, he supervised the work of all the officials. Who? The wazir. Wazir means the prime minister. He looked after all the works of the officials. Now after that, the minister in charge of the army was Icse Mamalik. Okay, just don't confuse that the Sultanate administration is very big in the book. It's very big written. It's very long. So the most important point that I felt that it can come, that points are here. If we go to read the whole Sultanate administration, it would take a lot of time, and many of the things are not so much useful as the points that has been written here are. Okay, so here the minister in charge, the fifth point, of the army was Icse Mamalik. Just 2 points which are important here. The minister in charge of the army was known as, yes, it can be asked like fill in the blanks, Icse Mamalik, and the key figure in the administration was the wazir. These two are the most important. Now the sixth point coming up here, the two other important departments were there. The first, the Diwan-e Risalat. Okay, about the Diwan-e Risalat is it dealt with the religious matter presided by the chief Sardar who was leading a Qazi. So Diwan-e Risalat deals with the religious matter, okay, and was presided or spoken by the chief Sardar. Chief Sardar was generally leading a Qazi. Okay, now Qazi, what is Qazi? Qazi was the head of the Department of Justice and advised Sultan on civil and religious matters. Okay. The second one of Diwan-e Risalat, which is in the Sultanate Administration, is not so important. No definition like this has been given. So just you have to learn the first, the Diwan-e Risalat. Okay, the point about Diwan-e Risalat. The last point which is coming up here is the empire was divided into provinces called Iqtas. Okay. So the empire was divided. Okay, in that time, the Sultanate time, the empire the empire was divided into provinces, and the provinces were known as Iqtas. Now we come to the nobles. Sultanate administration finished. The last point, the nobles, and after that the chapter will finish. See, the first point here, during that period, okay, practice of giving grants of revenue from a territory was known as Iqta system. See, during that period or during the Sultanate period, the practice of giving grants means a small amount of money that was given of revenue, grants of revenue, okay, money that was known as revenue from a territory was known as Iqta system. Giving some grants of money from a territory was known as Iqta system, and those people who were given the Iqtas were known as Iqtadars. The people who were given Iqtas were known as Iqtadars. Okay. Now I want to conclude that this chapter has been finished. Now let's wind up this session. Hope what I explained you understood, and if you like the video, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And this is Numan Ahmed signing out from Learning History with Numan. Keep supporting and keep watching. Thank you for watching. Bye.